Philanthropic billionaire Bill Gates is here with what would fairly be described as a dire warning about what could happen if the U.S. continues to cut foreign health aid. He recently told the Senate that cutting more funds could lead to the deaths of millions around the world. Last night, he also announced the Gates Foundation is giving $912 million over 3 years to the Global Fund, an organization that fights deadly infectious diseases around the world. I sat down with Mr. Gates earlier this year, and he told me about his plans to give away nearly all his personal wealth over the next 20 years in an effort to support worldwide health efforts. And Mr. Gates is here for an exclusive interview. I know I could call you Bill, but I like calling you Mr. Gates. I think you deserve it. You're giving away all this money, $912 announced just recently, the bigger announcement when we spoke last, and yet I know it's not going to make up for the cuts that governments are making, including this government. And you say we're at a crossroads, and yet you're optimistic. Explain how all of this terribleness could happen, and yet you're optimistic.
Well, the last 25 years were miraculous. With the very modest level of generosity, less than 1% of the U.S. budget, the U.S., with partners, was able to reduce the number of children who die every year from over 10 million a year to less than 5 million a year. And in fact, if we just maintain that modest level, because of the great innovations and incredible people in the field doing this work, we can cut it in half again. So the crisis is that, some people are saying, hey, even that 1%, should we do that or not? And I'm saying, hey, listen to the people who go out and see the work. We shouldn't have this be the first year that more children die than the year before. We should continue the progress that Americans should be very proud of.
We should, but then it appears that we are not going to, and yet you're optimistic. So explain the optimism side of the equation.
Well, the progress in global health requires two things. It requires innovative new tools, and the pipeline there of things funded by the foundation and others using AI, that is way better than I would have expected. We can prevent women from getting HIV. We have tools to kill mosquitoes, to get rid of malaria over time. So we have innovation, but then we need the money to buy those products to get them out to all the world's children. And that's where we're running into a question, should the poorest in the world, sort of a golden rule thing, should the poorest rule in the world be worthy of that 1%? That for the last 25 years, the U.S. has been great on.
Well, the Trump administration, they've made some major cuts in global funding. What is the impact that you're seeing of that? Are you seeing a big difference? And I know you've met with him, and I know you believe in working with all administrations. How do you think that is working out?
Well, there have been a lot of payments that aren't being made right now, and so we are seeing deaths go up. The big question is, as they set the new budget, what level will that get set at, and will that money actually be sent out? And so this is a great time that the Congress gets to show its sense of values, to continue the fight against polio, yes, to make sure mothers get the nutrition they need. So with all the things going on in the world, even though this affects more children than anything else, it's not as visible as it used to be. Most people don't even know about the great success we had. We use goalkeepers, we use any way we can to
you honored the goalkeepers. There were at least 10 people that you honored last night. So I see the hope that you have. And I think for a lot of people in this country, they say we have so much things here that need to be repaired and fixed. Why do we spend money internationally? Can you just briefly say why it's important that we do what we do and how we do it?
Well, we get a lot for this 1%. Remember, it's just 1%. If you ask most people, they'd say, oh, it must be 3 or 4%, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's 1% is what we're asking for, and that's what there's a potential they'll cut even below that. For that, we get the system that detects diseases. And so it would see a pandemic early and would stop it from coming here. It's also hopefully in our moral values that lifting these countries up, helping them be healthy so they develop their own economies, so they develop stability, they're part of the world economy. We had Rick Warren at our event last night talking about the religious principles involved. He was talking with a Muslim leader about how all religions have this kind of golden rule. And, we're saying, hey, 1%, that is a good thing. And in no way does that, the other 99% is there for domestic use.
And I want to get back to this administration. You said at the beginning of Trump's second term that you were impressed with his interest in global health. You have spoken with him more recently. Have those conversations given you more optimism? Or are you still as confident in his interest in global health?
Are you still impressed?
Well, he spent quite a bit of time talking to me about these global health issues. And the demand on his time is, near infinite with wars and tariffs and, so many things going on. I don't know how it's going to come out in the end. I've talked to him about the principles involved, and it's a modest amount of money. I've assured him that, if we're engaged, we'll make sure that money's spent well. In fact, we can save, 10% or so pretty easily and still achieve our goals. But, right now it's a political question. When you say American first, can you still have the charity for that 1%?
All right, well, we hope Congress shows its values, as you said. If my life or my child's life depended on Congress showing its values, I don't know I feel that reassured. We'll see.
And the world leaders are meeting this week for the UN General Assembly. I'm sure these topics will
I'm
come
encouraged that you have hope.
Yeah.
You know stuff, Mr.
And
Gates.
hope is what we need.
Know stuff.
Bill Gates, thank you so much. Mr. Gates.
Yes, thank you.